Hey friend, my dad went back for another test today for his bladder cancer, and he has cancer again. This time he's got more lesions than he had before, but they're smaller, which is great. I'm glad that we caught them now. The plan is to go in and take them out and biopsy them. A lot of people have asked me, how do you manage this? How do you manage having parents that are not in your geographical location all the time? So I wanted to do this quick video to say that what I did today is I got on the phone with my dad and his specialist and spoke with both of them about the results of the cystoscopy after they were done. And I had with me a form that I have been using to keep track of things. Every time there's a development with my dad's cancer, I make another line item and I keep track of what's going on that way so that at a glance, I can see exactly what's been going on. It gives me the full timeline in one place. It allows me to communicate that information to my dad, to his provider, to the nurse if I have to call and I have a question. In the past, they've been having supply chain issues with the type of chemotherapy that he's been getting for his bladder. The question today was, when can we get this next round of chemo done so that my dad can continue with his plan of coming down south for the wintertime? In order to do that, it's going to require some orchestration with him getting into another specialist down here if we're not able to get everything done up there prior to his planned departure time. There's a lot of moving pieces with this. The doctor gave us his best estimate, and then when I got off the phone with him, I had already been calling around to different places, and I'd been learning about the different specialists in the area from my own patients, listening to what type of treatment protocols were being utilized by different urology groups. So I had an idea of which group I wanted to go with. Today, I called and specifically asked to speak with the practice manager. And this is a tip that a lot of people don't realize. If you've got a real complicated situation and you're caring for your parent in multiple locations like I am, and you're looking to transfer care from one area to another, one of the fastest ways to go about this is to actually speak with the practice manager. The practice manager is the person who is overseeing what's going on within the practice. They speak to the people in scheduling, they handle things with billing, they understand laws and regulations, they understand how the physicians operate in that medical group. So it cuts a lot of corners by going directly to the source. I was able to speak to the practice manager on my first attempt, which I did not expect. I expected I'd have to call multiple times or leave some messages, but I lucked out and was able to speak directly with her. I had all my questions that I needed to ask already written out in case I actually got someone, and I did. Within 10 minutes, we were able to talk about what specific timelines they have here compared to what my dad can get where he is up north. And I was pleasantly surprised to find out that the timelines here are actually faster than they are up north. In the meantime, while I was making all these phone calls, we were able to get his procedure scheduled up north. So we have a tentative surgery date up there. Based on that, we're going to talk about if we're going to continue with that plan, if we're going to work on getting him transitioned down here. So again, there's a lot of moving pieces. But what I can tell you is the best way to do this as a caregiver who is living out of the area for the person they're caring for is to make sure you have all the information in some organized place so that you can easily refer back to the information that you're questioning in that moment when you're on the phone. I was able to pull up this document, talk to the practice manager about what he's had in the past, what the timeline was up north, and match that to what they're able to do down here. And because I had that in one place, it made things so easy. That 10-minute phone call gave me everything I needed to know. Because it's such an important document, I highly recommend that every caregiver have one like this, especially if you're caring for someone who lives out of the area. If the person lives in town, I still think you need one. But especially when you're dealing with multiple practices in different areas, it's very confusing, and it's definitely best if you have everything streamlined. I have developed different types of documents like this over the years. I have sometimes recommended that people use a form that deals with one particular body system. So if your parent has COPD, then anything related to COPD I probably would put in that one document, so that it might be every time they go to the doctor's office, you have a place to put down what your questions are, what they said, what action is going to be taking place as a result of it. And those forms are really helpful. Then there are other times when I recommend that you use what I call a procedure log. And that's where if you have a person who's got multiple things going on at the same time, they might be going for lung testing, but they might be having a problem with their heart at the same time, or they're getting blood work because their kidney levels are a little off. You've got multiple things happening at the same time. So in that case, I would recommend having a procedure log. Because my dad is currently mostly stable in everything else, I streamlined this, and everything related to his bladder cancer is all in one document. So if you're dealing with a specific situation, it's great to have just one document where everything is all in it. And because I think it's so valuable, I will post a link for you to go to get a copy of this timeline. This timeline will be free of cost, and it will be available for you to edit, to put your own information in for your person that you're caring for, whether it's your mom, your dad, or someone else. Because this document is modifiable, you'll be able to change it to meet the needs that you have in your situation. And because it's a digital document, this is something that you can download directly onto your phone so you can have it with you at all times. I hope this form will be really helpful to you, but if there are more things that you're looking for, or if you have questions about this document, I encourage you to leave a comment below. You can also let me know who you're caring for, what type of diagnosis it is. If you have specific questions about how to track things and if things are more complicated, feel free to leave a comment about that below as well. If you would like to join us in our private community online, you're welcome to click the link below to our private Facebook group. It is completely free, and it's got other caregivers who are in the midst of figuring things out or who are there to share their successes with you. That's another way that you can ask questions and get more real-time answers. This is Cheryl Foster for the Caregiver Institute, reminding you to hope in medicine, but never trust in healthcare.